Laura Carter Canines presents How to Have a Happy Dog Without Going for a Walk, keeping tails wagging when exercise is restricted.
Hello and welcome back to How to Have a Happy Dog Without Going for a Walk. I'm Laura, dog trainer, author of The Vet Says Rest, and founder of the Wags Without Walks online membership. This is Nessie, my pet goose. You'll probably see her and her companion Nevis lurking around in this video. If you've been listening from the podcast from the start, thank you so much for joining me again today. It's been amazing to hear some of you resonated with the first couple of episodes, realising that you don't have to feel guilty if you can't walk your dog every day, and that enrichment can open up a whole new world for both of you. If this is your first time tuning in, then welcome. I'm really glad that you're here. Today's episode is a little bit different because I'm going to take you behind the scenes of how my book, The Vet Says Rest, actually changed the whole direction of my business. I'll share how it shaped the way I think about training, how it led me to create an online membership, and how that membership has been helping dogs and owners across the UK for one reason or another when they can't manage daily walks. I'll also tell you some of the stories from members and clients whose lives have been transformed by the ideas. And at the end, I'll talk about my bigger vision, because this is so much more than just my own clients. It's about changing the conversation around what a happy dog's life really looks like. When I wrote The Vet Says Rest, I really didn't imagine the ripple effect it would have. I wrote it because time and time again I was meeting owners who were devastated when the vet told them that their dog needed strict rest. Sometimes it was after surgery, sometimes it was an injury, sometimes it was ongoing condition. And what I saw again and again was that it wasn't just the dogs who were suffering, it was the owners too. They were stressed, frustrated, and often racked with guilt. They would tell me that their dog was going stir crazy, barking, chewing, bouncing off the walls, and they didn't know how to help. Many of them felt like failures and that they weren't doing right by their dogs. I remember one young couple in tears over their German Shepherd puppy Ted. He'd broken his leg at just 5 months old, and the vet wanted him crated for almost the entire day. He was clever, energetic, and desperate to do something. He was biting, barking, and making their life hell. Not because he was a bad puppy, but because he had no outlet. That experience stayed with me, and it wasn't the only one. Over and over, I was seeing the same story playing out in many different homes. The more I worked with these cases, the more it shaped my philosophy. What I came to see was that you can't simply tire a dog out through exercise alone. It doesn't work, not in the way we want it to. In fact, with a lot of high energy breeds, all that happens is the dog just gets fitter and fitter. And the more you walk them, the more they need it. It becomes an endless cycle. What really makes the difference is quality time spent together. Not miles walked, but games, training, enrichment, little challenges that make your dog use their brain and look for you for interaction. I often say to my clients that it really doesn't matter what you're doing with your dog as long as you're both doing it together. That's the bit that counts. The shared experience, the bond, the joy of interacting. So many owners don't actually spend much quality time with their dogs. On walk, the dog is off lead or on an extendable lead, and the owner is on their phone, barely paying attention. At home, the dog is lying on the sofa while everyone else watches TV or scrolls on tablets. They live side by side but not really together. And the exercises I wrote about in The Vet Says Rest are designed to change that. They give you both a way to really connect. Another thing I realised, especially during COVID, is that you never know when life will throw you a curveball. I had one client who proudly told me she'd never missed a single walk in 12 years of owning her dog. Incredible commitment. But when she caught COVID and had to isolate, everything fell apart. Her dog was completely lost without the daily walk and really struggled to cope. And she was racked with guilt because she physically couldn't take the dog out. That situation showed me how important it is to prepare our dogs for the unexpected. Yes, routines are comforting for us and for our dogs. But if a dog can't adapt when that routine is disrupted, it sets everybody up for stress. All of this led me to the idea that the book wasn't enough. What owners really needed was ongoing support, a community, a library of ideas they could dip into whenever they needed them. That's what my online membership, Wags Without Walks, is all about. One of the hardest things when you can't walk your dog is the isolation. It feels like everybody else is out happily strolling with their dogs while you're stuck inside with an over-energetic pup or a restless adult dog. It can feel like you're the only one in the world in that situation. I didn't want people to feel alone anymore, so I created the membership to bring owners together, to share ideas and give them the reassurance that there are always options. Inside the membership, there's a whole library of games with videos showing you exactly how to play them. They're simple, they don't require any special equipment, and you don't need to be an expert trainer. Some are problem-solving games, others are tricks. Some are calming activities to help your dog switch off. And every week, the members meet live on Zoom on a Wednesday evening. I introduce a new game or some level of an existing game we've already learnt, so you've always got something fresh to try in the week ahead. We also have what I call Pause for Thought, a short video that gets you thinking about something different. It might be canine body language, it might be a tip about first aid, or a topic about how dogs learn. Members can ask questions in the chat, and if they can't make the session, everything is recorded and saved into the library so they never miss out. There's also a forum inside the app where members can post and share their progress, and I'm always happy for members to message me directly if they need extra help. It's not just training, it's a community and support. And I think this is one of the most important parts, because this situation can feel very lonely if you don't have others who understand the situation that you're in. What's interesting is that when I started Wags Without Walks, I imagined it would be mainly people whose dogs couldn't walk at all. But actually, a lot of members still do walk their dogs regularly. They've just realised that enrichment at home makes life better too. It stops them relying only on walks to keep their dogs happy. Puppy owners find it brilliant because they can do safe activities before their pups are ready to go out for their big adventures. Older dogs benefit because they can still use their brain even when their bodies are slowing down. Owners with medical conditions love it because it takes them away that heavy guilt of not being able to get out every day. And then there are the reactive dogs, anxious dogs, dogs with arthritis or hip dysplasia, dogs recovering from surgery, families with young children, people working from home who just want a quick 5-minute game to slot in between Zoom calls. Let me share a couple of stories because they really show what a difference this approach makes. I had a couple join me in my reliable recall course recently, and in week 1 they turned up with no treats and their dog on an extendable lead. The lead was literally the only thing keeping the dog with them. There was no relationship, no reason for the dog to want to stay close. 4 weeks later we were in the woods, off lead, playing games. The dog was sniffing, exploring, being a dog. But he kept consistently choosing to come back and interact with his owners. That transformation was nothing to do with drilling commands. It was all about games and engagement, teaching the dog and owners how to have fun together so they wanted to be together. Then there's Tilda, a young bull mastiff who had several surgeries on her back leg, including having a plate fitted. She needed strict crate rest, and without enrichment, she'd have gone absolutely crazy in her crate. The games and activities gave her an outlet. They kept her calm, kept her content, and most importantly, they allowed her body to heal properly because she wasn't overdoing it. Her owner told me that she couldn't imagine how they would have coped without those ideas. Looking forward, my vision is really simple. I want more and more owners to know that they have choices. You don't have to walk your dog for miles every day to be the good owner. In fact, for some breeds and some situations, that's the worst thing you can do. High energy dogs just become fitter and fitter with more walking. What they really need is to use their brain. Dogs on rest need safe outlets, and owners need support to cope with the stress of seeing their dog confined. And even for dogs who are perfectly able to go out, enrichment adds so much value. It improves loose lead walking and recall without endless drills. Because when your dog genuinely wants to be with you, training isn't a battle, it's a joy. Above all, I want owners to let go of the guilt. If you can't walk your dog every day, you're not failing them. There are other options, and sometimes those options are actually better for your dog. And you don't have to do it alone. There's a whole community of people who understand and who want to support you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of How to Have a Happy Dog Without Going for a Walk. Next week, we'll be looking at why short training bursts are often far more effective than long walks for building focus and connection. We'll talk about canine attention spans, why short sessions prevent frustration, and how you can build mini training moments into your everyday routine. That episode will be out on Friday the 5th of September at 7 a.m. Until then, remember, your dog's happiness isn't measured in miles. It's measured in moments of connection, fun, and joy shared between you.